Well, if any of you isn't whitelist yet, just I really appreciate when people is early, So if any of you isn't whitelist as of this moment, consider yourself whitelisted just by being here. So thank you very much, guys, for assisting to this flash AMA. I know that giving 2 hours for an AMA is not too much, so uh, I really appreciate you guys are here. So I think all of you have read the white paper so far. So I would love for you guys to leave your hand, and then I can let you on the stage so you can ask whatever you guys want. All right. There you go. I think you have, yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
hey Danny, how you doing?
How you doing? Fantastic. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing very good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for holding this AMA. I was reading into your white paper, and this reminds me of another project, which is called I believe I sent it to you. It's called the Bacon Game. I don't have the exact name here. Cops versus Bacon, and it happens to be on the Avalanche network, and they're saying it's a play to earn game, but honestly, it's a play to risk game where people can steal your mints, they can steal your the amount of money that your NFTs are generating, things of that sort. So it seems very comparable. My experience with that is on launch. People bought the mints and the NFTs and the coins, um, and it took off. But literally that very day or later on that day, the price just started to drop, and it dropped and dropped, and it just never came back up because of all the people were just selling their coins consistently. The coin that was supposed to support the system literally is just sinking the system. So how does yours differ from that system?
Okay, I never knew about that project before. I mean, just now that we were talking in DM.
Yeah.
By the way, Danny and I, we were talking, and neither he knew that I was the guy that was going to have the AMA, neither I knew who he was. So it was kind of funny. But
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
yeah, he mentioned this, and so my question will be: did they start the game like? Did they start staking before selling off
No, no, staking hasn't even begun yet. Actually, it's about to start now.
on the Bacon game?
Yeah.
How did they dump it? Did they sell tokens?
Yeah, so you have to purchase grease. So in your case, it would be the HODL token. And then with that grease, you buy NFTs, which will generate more grease.
No, but the
But
first
that
the,
was
the
the
first generation. I mean, the little I saw about the white paper, I
yeah.
saw that whitelist people could mine at 2 AVAX, and then the public people could mine at 2.5 AVAX. The first generation. So the first generation they sold that in AVAX.
Yeah, so they sold the few NFTs first generation were sold for 2 AVAX, and they yielded more grease, aka your HODL tokens it'll be, but they yielded more grease per day. So that was the benefit of getting a first generation. So they would generate like 10,000 grease per day, while second generations were able to generate 4,000 grease per day.
All right, and then how much do you need to buy a second generation one?
The minting started off with 20,000 grease per one NFT.
So with two days minting, then you can have another NFT.
Pretty
That's
much.
yeah, that's the basic R2E. What happened is that everyone, as crazy as it sounds, everyone likes to hear of a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a Ponzi scheme because they're so attractive. Like from the place I come from, I'm from South America, and narco traffic. I don't know if I don't know if that make such a big influence in people's
Uh huh.
life that the whole country really love when these new projects come around with Ponzi schemes and everyone gets scams, and then there comes another one and everyone gets scams, because basically what these projects are doing, they're telling people what they want to hear. You're gonna get your money back in 2 days. Whenever you hear
Yeah.
that, you gotta run for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's what what they're doing. They're creating a massive Ponzi scheme. So the first difference here is for you to recover the money. I mean, let's say that the token stays stable. For you
Yeah.
to be able to mine a first generation token, you're gonna have to be staking for at least, in best case scenario, if you earn like the rarest token, you're gonna have to be staking for at least 15 days, and then you're gonna be able to mine a first generation one, which most likely won't be available because most likely someone else already mined it by those days, all the generation 1 tokens. So it's not this case. And another thing is that I don't know if you noticed that the most of our NFTs are paper hands. Those are the normal NFTs, and basically our project is called Paper Hands versus Holders because it's something that we've all been playing in our lives without realizing it. Since we learn about crypto, I'm one of those paper hands that
Yeah.
knew Bitcoin like at $200, $300, and then I got some, and there you go. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've all been there. We've all been paper hands. We all are right now paper hands in something like right now. I can tell you, I bought Alpha Notes at 200K, and man, I did a forex, and then I sold on an ATH, and there you go. I was a paper hand, and I learned it.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a story that we've all been playing, and while paper hands maybe they make some fee profit, the people that is really making money is the people that is holding. That is what is happening here. I don't know if you've ever heard of the cash flow game.
I
By,
have not.
yeah, by Robert Kiyosaki. All right. So Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I've read the book, but I don't remember the specific game.
Okay, well, he made a game basically based on the
Hmm.
book where you learn how to manage your passive and your active income. I mean, basically, what we're trying to do here is what he did on his game, on his board game, but in crypto.
Okay.
So we're trying
Gotcha.
to teach people, look, if you're a paper hand and you sell the first day, you're going to have a 90% tax.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really don't think there's gonna be people selling the first day. But I don't know. Maybe we do I don't know, a 30x. Who knows? And you're gonna have people selling, even if they get 90% tax. Who knows what can happen in a paper hand's head? I mean,
How will that 90% be distributed? So let's say someone gets a 30x out the gates. For some reason we end up getting 30x, and they sell. That's 90% tax, so they're only getting 10%
yeah.
win, which is kind of crazy for them. How is that distributed?
So the 90% is going straight to treasury where it first look if there is enough tokens to give to holders, because holders get part of their daily claimable amount out of taxes from the paper hands. And then
Okay.
if there is enough money to pay all holders that are staking,
Hmm.
the extra hodl is going to a hodl vault, where then after you
Okay.
can go and stake your hodl to claim even more hodl.
Okay.
So that's how that is distributed. That happens when it's 90%. When it's when they're level 2, there is a 70% tax, and the higher they can get is level 6. In that point, they have two options. They can claim with 10% tax, and there is another very important thing. Let's say we have maybe not at 30x, but let's say at the 4th day or the 5th day we have 2x or 3x, They have 20% tax only, which is the tax that most R2E has. So they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna sell. If they claim before being level 6, their NFT go back to being level 1. So they're gonna want to wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's incentive to holding. There's
Yeah.
an incentive to holding.
So once they claim in level 6, it is very interesting because they keep being level 6, but they have also another chance. What else can they do? They can become holders. So you can only get holder NFT in generation 0. You can get it, you have a 5% chance of getting a holder NFT. Generation 1 to 5, you only get paper hands. And there is a very good thing here. Your NFTs doesn't get stolen.
They don't.
Yeah, it happened to me a lot of times, and I hate it, because you spend like $100 and hey,
Yeah,
surprise, you just lost your money. That sucks, man.
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's
yeah.
that's making the
That's
Ponzi
the bacon
scheme.
game. That's that bacon cops game I was telling you about. Your mints could get stolen. Yeah.
Yeah, most R2E are the same thing, like the same thing. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's just that you're not getting holders NFT in the other generations. And there is a simple reason for that, because every single person can become a holder just like in real life. You just need to work your way through that. So what you can do to become a holder once you are level 6 is you pay 2,000 hodl and then you become a holder. And then you start gaining taxes out of paper hands. And you claim faster. So you're
Okay.
going to be able,
What
yeah, tell me.
what keeps the system sustainable besides holders?
Okay, what makes it sustainable? First, selling tax.
Besides the holders, yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So sell tax and
sell tax that refills our bolts. So we have 3 bolts. First one is USDC bolt, then we have AVAX bolt, and then we have HODL bolt, where people is gonna be able to actually generate passive incomes just from setting their HODL. So we're generating passive income even after we reach our max supply. That's a very important thing. Why? Because people are
yeah.
gonna keep selling on the market, and every time someone sells, our bolts get refilled. Also, every time someone sells, a portion goes to our buyback contract. There is a contract that can only be used to buy back, and when we do that, what happened with the tokens that we buy back, we send half of it to the hodl bolt, and then there is this other point that is massively different to any other project. We have a locked treasury. I don't know if you read that.
How long is it locked for?
The locked treasury is forever. It's like
How
a whale that is gonna be built little by little that will never sell.
interesting.
So basically, for example, when someone mined generation 1 and paid 2,000 hodl, where that goes is to the locked treasury. When someone
Yeah.
upgrades, it goes to the locked treasury. There is a percentage of sale tax that goes to the locked treasury. So sale by sale, we're increasing the locked treasury. What that makes is most projects, what they do is they burn those tokens. But what happened? Look at this example. If we have 1 million tokens and then we burn half of them, instantly what you did, you just doubled the price of the tokens. So you just gave a reason to people for dump your token.
Yeah. Yeah.
So while we are doing this, we are creating a massive holding well that will never ever sell. We're gonna renounce that contract right away, so no one can touch those hodl. And basically, what it makes it more stable. It makes it harder to dump on our token. So
Because you got one whole wallet holding. So while you have that, what is sustaining your liquidity pool?
all right, so now In the well, first we are giving $210,000. We're pairing that with 2,800,000 hodl. No one is getting any hodl before, like the team isn't getting any hodl. So at that point, we have 1-to-1 ratio for say,
Hmm.
but with selling tax, the one that we are stating right now, there is a portion when well sell, when someone sells more than 100 hodl. I don't know if you read the whole poll idea.
Hmm.
There is a portion that is going to the LP all the time. And I really believe that at some point people is gonna be interested in uh, making a liquidity pool, adding to liquidity pool, like in
Yeah.
Trader Joe, because that give you also rewards. So
Yeah. So right now, one of the a really good project is Sphere, and what they're doing with their tokenomics is quite interesting, in which you can implement here as well. But they're doing a self-sustaining liquidity pool. So with your methods that you're speaking of, you could actually create a self-sustaining liquidity pool, and then your project could never fail.
yeah, well, that's actually our idea. Um,
Yeah.
it will be with what we're creating right now with the new poll. Basically, it will be very hard to dump on the token. I mean, people will be very dump if you can tell that if they sell with a 50% tax for say. I mean, some will do if they see that we're, I don't know, 30x high or something like that. Some will do, but at the same point, what will happen is I mean, as the deeper is the deep, the bigger the balls get. So what that brings is more investors because they want to get the money out of the balls, and that brings liquidity up one more time.
Hmm.
So by doing that, we are always also making a liquidity function, and while taking hodl out of the market through the locked treasury, that also help us with the liquidity.
And no one will have access to that treasury.
Nope, no one. That's lost forever.
Can we verify this? Will you? Can you make it very clear and verifiable in the contracts for us to see?
Well, it have to be renounced to it. We're having, I mean, I've been private docs by James Pelton. If I don't do that, I mean, I mean, this is being recorded, so he can unveil my identity. Also,
Yeah.
XC and JR5, they are docs, and they are multi-sig. So they really, I mean, also I'm docs to them, so they know who I am. The only
Okay.
reason I don't do public doxing is because I live in a place in South America where if people know you're doing well, you get extortion, kidnapping, basically your life is not secure anymore.
Uh,
That's the only reason I'm not publicly doxed.
yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, I know it sounds weird. Wait, we have another hand here. I didn't even notice this.
Yeah. If you want to bring someone else up for questions, please be my
Not
guest.
sure
Yeah. If
if
I have.
that's a hand or because I don't see. Oh yeah, he's right there. This is gonna put it on stage, and then the three of us, we can talk. Hey, top leader, how you doing? Top leader, I just give you the word, buddy. You were lifting up your hand. You need to unmute your microphone so you can talk. Even if I put you, there you go. All
There he
right.
is. There he is.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just raised my hand before Danny started to speak about this bacon thing because I was in bacon when they launched, and I know the majority of their problems. And it's actually the in the old games there are, let's say, the forks of the pizza game or wolf game, and
Yes. Yeah.
just slightly modified, and they have all the same issue, and that is the tokens there have a so big emission that it's very
Inflationary.
inflation. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking through a white paper, and there is some things that are very well handled in your white list in your
White paper.
white paper with this taxes and all. What I wanted to ask is a lot of projects nowadays are experiencing the problem that they don't have enough people for the start for starting the game. Uh, they say, let's say, they wanted to sell 5,000 or 10,000 tokens, mints of Gen 0, but they have only, I don't know, 500 or 1,000, and they don't have enough funds for liquidity pool, of course, and they just cannot start the game because with 10K or 20K of dollars in liquidity pool, it's the game is dead in like 2 days.
Okay,
So I wanted to ask, what is your threshold? How minimum you're willing to go
so
before you decide, okay, we are proceeding with the project or not? Because uh, I see we have like a 2,000 people in the Discord right now, and I know that is very little for the project for start to be successful.
well, there is two things. Well, the first one is we're just starting to have AMAs with big people. Like for example, next week we're having an AMA with James Pelton, with No Nation, and with Kryptonators. So that's gonna be huge. I mean that's gonna be huge. James Pelton AMA is gonna be on YouTube, so we're gonna have a whole amount of people here. I'm sure about that one. But anyway, if you go to the white paper, there is a section in the guidebook. It says what makes PHvH unique. And there is one place that it says expertly designed to have a successful Gen Zero launch. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. You need to read it. Right now, I cannot share a screen because it is a stage AMA and not a voice call, but otherwise, I will share it. But there is the next point, it is expertly designed to survive an unsuccessful Gen Zero launch, which is very interesting. What we're gonna do if that happens, our our target price for HODL token is $0.075. So what we're gonna do if that happens, basically we're gonna burn the remaining NFTs, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the same proportions but with less money, and we're gonna pair it with less amount of tokens. So it's not gonna be against 2,800,000. It's gonna be against less than that. Let's say we have $100,000 instead of 1 million, just something like that. So we're gonna have instead of $210,000, we're gonna have $21,000 paired with that will be 28,000. Yeah, 28,000 hodl. That's what we'll do if that happens. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So, for example, if we make 1,000 mints on the first 2 days, and 1,000 mints is roughly, if the average price is $100, it's $100,000 of revenue, which 20% by the white paper is going to the liquidity pool. So we are starting with $20,000 in liquidity pool in that case, or we are waiting for additional mints to come.
And no, we're not waiting for it because one of the issues that I believe that most projects have is that they launch the staking pool uh, before launching the token. And when that happens, the project is dead. Why? Because there are a lot of people minting before anything else can happen. And once you launch the token, then they dump it right away. So that we are definitely not doing that. If by 48 hours we aren't completely minded, then whatever we have left, we're gonna burn those tokens, and we're going to start the project as it is. So basically what it happens is, yes, we're gonna have little liquidity, but we're gonna have few NFTs minting. So it may sound weird, but it is exactly the same scenario, because the token price is the same and the amount of tokens of NFTs is less. So you're getting the exact same scenario but with less money. Am
Yeah,
I?
that's true. But the generations that is coming next, so Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, they're minting with HODL, right?
Yep, they're minting with
Or
HODL.
with USDC.
No, they're minting with that. That's what I'm talking about. They're minting with HODL. We're not getting any more USDC. Basically, the ones that are gonna lose money, if what you're saying that happens, it's me basically and the people behind me that is investing in the project, and no one else.
Mhm.
Basically, that's what's gonna
Well,
happen.
one
Because
more thing.
yeah, go.
Price of the starting price of the token that you said, like 7.5 cents. This is decided by the treasury, by the admins. So what dictates the price when the token is launched? So supply and demand, or you're increasing the liquidity and thus you are adding value to the token, or what is? Because you cannot buy it from the before the launch, right? So you can buy only after the launch. You can buy the HODL token,
What
correct?
di-
With USDC or with the AVEX, or I don't know with what.
what dictates the price is how many HODL tokens we put against how many USDC tokens. That's what dictates the price, because you're telling Trader Joe, for example, okay, you know what? This amount of HODL tokens cost this amount of USDC. That is what dictates the price, that the launching price. After that is supply and demand.
Mhm.
So that way
Okay,
we
and
can
of course,
always have this 0.075 dollars at launch.
Mhm. And after we launch, and if we have a small liquidity pool, so let's say I buy for $2,000, I buy the HODL token, I will kick the price for 20-30% up.
Basically, for people that is gonna be interested in buying into our game, that's what they're gonna have to do. And why is it gonna be interesting for them? Because they actually know how much is it gonna be in the vaults, which at that point is gonna be, I mean, around $10,000. And the first day, if you read the whole thing, those vaults are gonna be giving 10%. I mean, it creates a smaller scenario with smaller investors, but definitely we're not giving away a generation one in less price, for less money. Why? Because I don't think it's fair for first investors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
So if no one,
absolutely. A
if
lot
you,
of a
if
lot of
yeah, tell me.
games are experiencing this issue. They are minting for 1.5 or 2 AVAX or something like that. But when the other generations come in, it's like
It's cheaper. Yeah, I
three
hate
times
that.
less than that.
Yeah,
And
I hate
yeah.
that. I hate that, and I don't think it's worthy. If anything, no one is gonna be minting Gen One, but still, the token is gonna be tradable, and still the sell tax is gonna be available, and still the bolts are gonna be available. So at some point, our token is gonna start growing by people seeing that we actually commit to what we say, that we actually create the locked treasury ball, uh, and that is gonna bring people into our project sooner or later. So it's gonna grow more organically, you know?
And as far as I saw is we were not able to sell the NFT on the secondary market.
Yeah, that is right now we have a poll that will end on April
Yeah,
3rd.
correct. Yeah, but the majority voted for yes.
Yeah, and that I
So
like, that I really like it because that means that we really have smart investors here. You know, because
uh,
otherwise everyone will go for the other option.
yeah. So those contracts can be very complex. And how do you handle the gas fees? Because the complexity of the contracts is increasing the substantially the gas fees when you want to do transaction and
That's
for
very
staking
good
and
that you
staking.
answered asked that. Nobody else have asked that before. Sammy, I'm gonna give you the word. Don't worry. I'm gonna give you the word once we finish with top leader. No one else had asked that before. So because of the sell tax, we're actually having a high gas fee whenever someone is selling, like not huge high fee, but a few higher than a normal transaction. So that's something else that will discourage people from dumping the token, you know? So that actually
So
works.
the sell tax is included in the gas fees or
No. The sell tax is outside of the gas fee, but because of
uh-huh.
sell tax, you know, because you need to convert one part of the sales tax is converted into USDCE and sent to the vault, and then part of the sales tax is converted into AVAX and sent to the vault. That spend gas fee. So that is
Yes.
also something that is gonna discourage people from dumping our token. No one have ever asked that. I'm happy you asked that. The dev mentioned that at one point, and I say, great, uh, less selling pressure. Basically, that's what that means for me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your answers.
Okay, you're very welcome, sir. So let's have Sammy here. Sammy, how you doing, bro?
Holders good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right. So, thank you for inviting me to the stage. Great discussion so far, and thank you for the whitelist. I appreciate that. Um, I wanted to go back to the discussion on KYC. I know you mentioned about your private doxing, and I completely understand your explanation why it was private.
Yep.
But I wanted to know um, if you can just talk maybe at a high level in terms of how big is the team, how many developers you have. Are there any plans for the other people in the team to be doxed? And then lastly, on the multi-sig that you mentioned, is that multi-sig only between um, the members of the current team, or are you also planning to have a private figure or a community member be part of the multi-sig?
Now, if you ever, like right now, I don't even really believe that KYC is such a big deal right now because we've already seen a lot of projects that roll after KYC. So I think KYC is overrated. I say that if you go to the KYC proposer channel, if you go scroll up all the way to the first message, I explain what I think about KYC. What I really believe that you should be looking at is just what you say, bro. You need to look for a project that have a KYC, I mean a multi-site with someone outside of their project and someone that have something to lose. And for us, those are Exi and JR5. They are not part of the team. We contact them and they are doxed and they are influencers and they have a lot to lose if we rock. Does that answer your
Got it.
question?
So, yeah. So if you rug, they have a lot to lose. What do you have to lose?
Well, basically, Chain Pelton private docs instead of KYC by other companies that I'm not gonna mention. His condition is if you do anything, I'm gonna unveil all your information at my discretion. And also Xe and JR5, I'm doxed to them, so I'm sure if I rock, they're gonna show who I am. So believe me, I have a lot to lose.
Yeah.
So that's that. Maybe that answer your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
It does, and thank you, because I still consider myself relatively new to the DeFi space, and I've seen both aspects. I've been part of rug pulls 2-3 times now,
We all
but I've
do, bro.
also right, and I've also been fortunate and made good gains. So I know trust is a big factor, as people are gaining more awareness, and like you said, signs like multi-sig with having someone outside of the core project team is definitely a good green signal. So I'm always looking for these things. So with what you explained makes sense. So thank you for the answer.
Yeah, always look for someone outside of the team within the multi-sig. And Danny, what you were saying, what I have to lose. Okay, let's say I didn't KYC myself. I mean I didn't do private docs with James Pelton. Let's put that scenario and let's say that JR5 and XC didn't know who I am. Well, basically they are in the multisig, and what we're gonna do, we're going to lock liquidity for 20 years. So basically, what we're doing while we're doing that is because we want to let people know that we know that that money doesn't belong to us. So, um, I mean, there is not a way for me to rock unless they say, all right, let's rock all together. You know what I mean?
Yes, that while that sounds nice, that also has backfired on many projects because they've locked liquidity for so long that something terrible goes on in the market and they
Yeah.
can't readjust or do anything for business. Now their funds are locked and now the business goes down under. So while that sounds like it's a safe haven, that can also crumble. So how would that not crumble a project?
Yeah, I thought
Let's say in worst case scenarios.
I thought about that, Danny, but like I really believe we have good tokenomics, uh, but those tokenomics are also linked to the community that we're gonna be creating. And when I'm talking about community, I mean this project is all about same like-minded people. Am I saying that right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if we all get to the point when we learn that holding through difficult times will make a company, and let's consider this a company, and let's consider these stocks for you, this will make the company grow. If you get the community to really understand that, and we should be able to explain that the community the first 6 days, because the first 6 days there's gonna be very little selling pressure. So if we are able to do that, we shouldn't have an issue with that. But I believe like if we lock liquidity only for 6 months, which or 3 months, which I see some projects do that, and their excuse is just what you said. I just don't trust those projects because I know they can rock in 3 months, and I've seen them doing that. And
How can a project rug in 3 months if they're locked for 6?
no. Like if they lock it for 3 months, having your excuse.
Yes, gotcha. So that pretty much the safe haven for those projects would be 3 month mark if they're locked for 3 months.
There you go. So basically,
Yeah.
yes, we're jumping. We're jumping to a cliff here, where we depend on the whole community, but we also have mechanics into the project that should make us go go good. Go big. The locked treasury is a huge measure, like a huge measure. And then the new sell tax for whales, that's a huge measure. Why? Because the people that are most likely to dump our token, the ones that have the ability to do it, are the NFT holders.
What is
Because
that percent tax?
oh, so you didn't actually read the whole thing, right?
I did. I went through it, but now that we're talking about it, what exactly is that number?
So the normal tax right now in the white paper is 10% sales tax for everyone, no matter what. But right now, if you, I mean, with the poll, which is basically already decided, I believe, if you sell, you're gonna have a 24 hours epochs. So every 24 hours, you're gonna be able to sell 100 hodl with 10% tax. You can also sell a second transaction of 100 hodl with 20% tax, a third transaction with 30% tax, a fourth transaction with 40% tax, and whatever comes after that is a 50% tax. But let's say in the first transaction you wanna do 102 tokens, you're getting 50% tax right away. And that tax, that overtax, whenever that overtax is going, let me read that from the poll so I don't get wrong numbers here. That's also gonna make it more sustainable because 30% of that is going to a treasury wallet that is gonna be used to invest in other projects. And as you can see, like for example, the KYC will make a pool so people could decide who were we going to have KYC with. Basically, the decision at the end was between Certic KYC or James Pelton. Most people prefer James Pelton. I prefer James Pelton as well. And also, what we're gonna be doing is asking the people what they think that we should invest our tokens in so that we can gain more money, and that money we're gonna put it back into the buyback contract. And the buyback contract, what it's gonna do is gonna send more HODL token to the vault and more HODL token to the treasury wallet.
It's like a DAO.
It's like a DAO, right there, exactly like a DAO if that happened. And then 70, that's the 35%, and then 7.5% of those overtax are going are gonna be swapped to USDCE for marketing wallet, and then 7.5% again USDCE for buyback contract, and then 20% of that is gonna be sent to the HODL locked treasury. 10% for the USDC vault, 10% for the USDC, I mean for the AVAX vault, and 10% added to the liquidity pool. So basically, that's what's gonna happen if the poll end up being yes, which I believe is gonna be.
So the tax is the same across the board, no matter how big of a person you are or how small. The tax is the tax.
Yeah.
And the distribution is the same distribution across the board, but there is no actual whale tax. You just have to, the longer you hold, the less your tax will be. The sooner you sell it, the more your tax will be.
That's right.
Essentially.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And yes, it is kind of a well tax. I mean, a well tax because if you only have one NFT, that's not gonna affect you really, you know, because basically you're making around 100 hodl a day, so you can be selling daily. But if you have 20 NFTs, then that's when that affects you. So that's when there is this is a well tax, and this is why if this poll is on, no one is gonna be able to sell those NFTs, because if we make selling NFTs available and transferring NFTs available, basically what Will's gonna do, all right, I have 20 NFTs that I minted, I'm gonna send each one of these NFTs to different wallets, and then I'm gonna sell 100 hodl every day in different wallets.
Would your project be willing to invest outside of your own project to bring in more liquidity to your project?
Yeah, that's what I just say with the 35%.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the 35%, that's what you can transfer. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. I appreciate all that.
Let me get crypto news. Wait a second, I'm trying to give you here. CryptoNewsPlus. Come and talk, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Uh, we- we'll be like extremely frank here, right?
All right.
You're starting this project. Well, we are early investors, and we have some check marks to do, right?
Yeah.
Which is the rug pulls. Apparently, from listening to this MA, apparently it's not going to happen. It's far off, and I understand where you're coming from. I know actually where you come from, but which makes sense. But now these questions come in. I know that economics sounds good. They all sound good. But there is, or actually there are, uh, some questions that always is probably the right answer to the economics. The economics look good on paper, but first of all, do you like first question, how many uh, team members do you have, and what's their background?
All
That's
right.
one thing.
Uh,
You want to answer the next one?
if you want, we can go one by one, so I don't
Yes,
miss
I think it's better.
points in,
So it's
in the
clear for everyone to keep in track.
yeah, that will be better. So we are about 12 members. We have designers, front-end devs, back-end dev, which is one, which I'm gonna tell you who he is, and why we have him, because this is a very important deal for me. I don't know if any of you were in the game of Risk R2E.
No.
No, all right. Well, maybe someone in the audience was, but what happened in there is what we just mentioned. They only sold 10% of their Generation Zero, and usually when that happens, what people when what projects keeps on doing, they keeps on selling Generation Zero and they start the staking, and that sucks. What these people did, they gather around 100 and something thousand dollars, and they put $75,000 into the liquidity pool. No, $70,000 into the liquidity pool, and $25,000 into a vault. So they got $5,000, and I can tell you, this doesn't cost $5,000. That I can tell you for sure. So I was basically very annoying with the brain behind Game of Risk, because I asked him like 100 times, "Hey, bro, we would really like to work with your dev. I mean, what you guys did was very honorable. I really appreciate that. Come on, give us his contact so we can go on." Finally, he did, and that's the guy that we're working with. Like, he's our main dev. He's in Asia. Um, who else we have in the team? We have people from USA. We have someone in Thailand. Like there is one in USA that I mean, they're not gonna be dogs, so I shouldn't really be saying a lot about them. But since I already mentioned, well, these two last person I just mentioned, I mean, I don't think that mentioning their countries makes a lot of a lot of damage. But they come from the crypto nerds community. They're not from the team. I want to make that clear. All right, they're not from crypto nerds team. They have subscriptions in there. They're very smart guys. One of them is a consultant for huge companies, and then the other guy is an economist. And bro, he's a genius. The Locket Treasury idea came from him. My initial idea was burning tokens, but then he explained it to me, like, because I told him, you know what? I believe that HODL can become a huge deal, like a huge deal, and you can laugh of me, but I'm talking like 1 billion market deal, and and I compare that to other tokens that really don't do a lot, and they have that market cap. And what he explained to me is, yeah, but what happens is that most of those tokens, or a big amount of those tokens, are in the company or in the project's treasury. So that's when I came with the idea, okay, let's not have them in the company treasury, let's have them in a locked treasury. So that will make it better. So that's another member of the team. We have a front dev, also from South America.
Are they all paid?
Some of them are paid, and some of them have participation on Generation Zero Fund. Some of them have both things. Yeah, also we have Exi and JR5, which are not part of the team. I mean, like they were not here when we start all this thing, but when we contact them and ask them to be our multi-sig, that poll idea came from them. So I need to give them that credit. They are a lot into nodes, like they belong to Node Nation and everything. I mean, they're very big into R&D, and they told me, hey, you know what? This project is gonna do great until day 6, and then everyone is gonna dump the token. And I was like, bro, we already launched the white paper and everything. Yes, but you're gonna fail if you do that. And yeah, the way they explained that, it makes a lot of sense. So I told them, look, since I cannot just change everything just right away, we're gonna make a poll, and just like you made me understand how this is important, I know we have smart people in the community and they're gonna understand that as well. So that poll, I mean, the idea came from them that we need to do something against well dumping. The idea how to solve it came from me, but the idea on doing something came from them. So what I was explaining is they aren't actually part of the team. They're just multi-sig, but they gave us this very important thing that we're having right now.
Okay, so you have an established team that can, handle stuff. There's something about the roadmap that I know it's not easy to do, but
There are some
it's
stuff
taking
that
a
need to be
long.
changed on the roadmap. On the second quarter, they're not gonna be happening on the second quarter. I don't know why someone put them there. They're gonna be between the quarter number 3 and number 4. Like for example, once and I'm sorry for cutting you on that one, but I'm gonna let you finish right away. Sorry for that. That was very unpolite from me, but
That's okay.
I need to say this. In the quarter number 2, it says that we're gonna start looking for a functionality for holders NFTs, and that's gonna happen only after everyone have minted their hodls. So like no one else can claim those tokens. Those NFTs cannot make any more hodl. What we're gonna do, we're gonna enable transferring function, so everyone can sell those in the market, and only hodl and like holders NFTs, like the rarest ones, or if you upgrade to those, are gonna be able to participate in what we're gonna do, like raffles. Like we're gonna create a platform where you can stake your holder NFT, and then since we're gonna become a big community, and that's what we plan to do, and we're gonna invest a lot of marketing into this, we're gonna be having projects coming to us because they want a community that is smart and that can hold good projects. And the condition for us to have them for AMAs and stuff like that, we're not gonna charge money or anything like that. We will charge them airdrops and whitelists for our community members that are staking their holders. And that is an incentive for people to upgrade their paper level 6 to holders. So that is something that shouldn't be in quarter 2. That needs to be changed to quarter 4, I believe. Because that will only happen once we reach max supply. So, but now go for the roadmap question that you were going to say.
All right. So taking like everything that I read about the white paper and everything you said,
All right.
I have to like clarify that you know that the NAS, DAS, DeFi is popping left and right. And the one that you are jumping on, because I've been talking to Danny, he's been in the Beacon one, and that one seems to fail, which is fine. It's not the end of life, but it's how you pick up from there and you modify it and alter it and make it better. And that's what you're trying to do. But what I'm trying to say is now you have probably three dilemmas that you have to deal with. First of all, how can you compete with NAS and DAS on DeFi? Because everyone is looking for gains versus um, you versus Sphere versus Wonderland, whatever it is. We're not going to call names. But human nature is like, hey, why should I invest in this while I can get more APY or 5-day ROI on a different project? And that's what happened in December. The crash and the bloodbath that happened is all these DeFis were started competing with each other inside the Avalanche network. And everyone's like, hey, I'll offer you 80% 5-day ROI, and then 120%, then went to all the way up to 320% 5-day ROI. And they did not know what protocol they were running till they depleted the treasury and they all crashed. So these are the concerns I have. I have built, my own uh, like bad investments, but I have learned. Now, do you have you learned like all of this? Do you have the scope of like how to avoid, how to maintain this? Because in the end, you seem passionate about your protocol. I'm not trying to tell you that your whatever you're building is wrong, but I'm trying to say here is, are you aware of what's going on around you? I'm sure you are, but how can you protect yourself against this? Because against NAS, now even nodes as a service are falling apart versus DeFi. DAS is coming back stronger than NAS. And we've seen Atlas, we've seen Strong, we've seen Phoenix community, they're all falling apart compared to DeFi. DeFi is coming very strong.
All right. So,
Now,
yeah.
yeah, these are the overall circumstances of the market, of the network itself, the layer ones. And are you going to be stuck to a point where like, hey, how can I make sure that my community is satisfied? Because you're going for 1 billion. I don't think that's the right thing. Like, go to 10 million, then if you reach that 10 million or even 1 million, then I'll go to 10, then I'll go to 50, then the 1 billion is a far stretch with the competition. I'm not saying the project is not capable of doing so, but I'm saying the competition is so saturated that it's really hard to compete.
Remember that when
So
I say that, I mentioned that I was in a conversation with this guy, with from the community, that the guy that was helping me with the tokenomics. And when I mean, we're not actually saying that in the white paper. We know that we need to grow organically and slow. So we are not stating anywhere that we're gonna be a 1 billion market cap
Yeah,
project.
yeah. To your defense, yeah, you were saying it in terms of like that's where you visualize yourself to be. You believe in yourself in this project so much. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's not something we're actually stating in our white paper or anything like that. But just to have, I know that you had more to say, but since the question is so big, let me cut it a little bit so I can answer a bit of what you just said. Well, first thing, how am I going to? I mean, how is the project and the team going to compete with everyone else? Well, there is something called diversification, and you cannot put all your eggs in the same basket. And like I myself, I mean, I have tokens at Playable, I have tokens at MetaRofi, I have tokens everywhere, like because I diversify my portfolio, you know. And some of them are in very risky projects that give a lot of ROI per day, and then some of them I have them in projects that I consider that they don't give that huge ROI per day, but they have tokenomics that makes it more sustainable. So I believe that's more where we're gonna fix in the long term scenario. We're not gonna be that crazy ROI. We're gonna that's why I'm saying we are going for those investors. At the end, this community will be more fulfilled with those investors that are smarter ones. And you can tell that for a single reason. You can tell that we only have 24 people here. If we were talking about giving 300 ROI the first week, we will have 200 people here at the moment. You can be sure about that. So I believe that we're sustainable with the tokenomics as we have them right now, and I believe we can grow. And I believe that the poll just make greater tokenomics out of this project, and that's how I believe we're going to compete. Are we not going to have people going away somewhere else? Of course we are, but then we have the sale tax, and if they're leaving, they're gonna fulfill our vaults, and maybe they're gonna dump the token, paying 50%, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna attract more people that is gonna want to get those tokens out of the vaults, and then we get new investors that maybe were watching at our project before, and they thought they were late already, but now that they saw that some people done on the project, and they can see how the vaults are full right now, then they're gonna get in, you know. So that's where I think we're gonna be. You can continue your question. I believe I answered so far what you were saying. Crypto News. Hello, buddy.
Crypto, you there?
Crypto. All right. If you're there, we cannot listening. I mean, we cannot listen to you, and your mic isn't off. Right now,
Oh,
it's
he just muted.
yeah.
He's trying to. He just muted, unmuted.
Yeah. Something happened with your mic, bro. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, he's.
Now I
Yeah, he
hate
just
that
unmuted.
now I
Yeah,
hate that I
he's
caught
got
you.
some technical.
I'm
uh,
sorry for that. You can tell me something, Danny, while he's trying to fix that up.
Well, so far I'm liking what I'm hearing. I mean, at first I was very scared and skeptic just because of my experience in other games similar to this, other tokenomics that are similar. But you are trying to be 100% more sustainable than the other projects, and you're actually trying to fill in the holes and the voids that the other projects have been unable to do. I feel like your taxes are in the right places. In fact, I think you might even want to increase some of the taxes. But as of right now, it looks like you're looking for the longer term holders, and they'll be more rewarded than the ones that are just trying to get in and out. So it
Yeah,
looks good. I like the treasury locked as well. I mean, everything sounds very nice. It's a matter of just, I guess, seeing how it all comes out. Crypto, and I liked Crypto's question because you do have a lot of competition around you that are offering much higher ROIs and APYs, and it's like, why wouldn't they go look at those projects versus
and
yours, kind
and
of thing. And I think that's where
and
Crypto's
there
getting
is
at.
there is something that he said that I really like it, and I was gonna address, but since the question was very long, I forget about that part. he just mentioned what I was thinking about answer, that when that happened, when Praise were offering such a big ROI, he learned that that didn't work.
Yeah, you mentioned something about R&D in the model, and that's why their coin is collapsing. I didn't quite understand what you were going there. Can you repeat that part again?
No, what I mentioned about R&D is that at some point their well tax did good, and that is why X and JR5 brought up that to us. So I didn't mention anything bad
Yeah.
about R&D.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say, because that tax system seems to be working very well,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of projects are starting to catch on to that. Yeah, because I think R&D is doing something great, but and I think more projects are catching on that you want the investors are going to inevitably are going to want to pay the tax, because if they pay the tax, it's literally self-sustaining the model that's going to allow them to continually cash out. So if you know you're going to make money on a regular basis, you don't care that you're paying that tax, because that's what's going to allow you to print it for X amount of years.
That's
But
right.
if a system can't be sustained, and you're not charging enough taxes, well, then it's not fun for everyone, and then there's going to be some real big losers along the way. So if you have that in mind, which it seems like you do, and you do implement a nice tax, and alongside with a nice tax, but with full transparency and really giving people that kind of trust, you'll go a real long way in the space, because those are the literally two essential things that everyone's looking for.
Yep. I completely agree with you. Crypto, can you talk now?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Just bear with me. You know, it's good for the community, good for you, good for us to get my questions. I'm not trying to be harsh or whatever, just to
I love your
clarify.
questions.
All right. So let me tell you one concern that it will help us all to determine how much should we invest in this or not. And the question is really simple. Now we understand where you're going. We understand you understand the tax. But the tax thing with R&D has not solved the issue. I'll be frank with you. I have invested in Red Light. Even Danny, he is a big investor there. But we've seen the price declining. And that brings me that fine. Red Light, they're still being innovative, and they're still, I'm sure they're going to figure things out, hopefully at least. So the tax system there on R&D has not solved the sustainability. That's what they were hoping. So now that you're counting on this, are you willing to be innovative enough to, because R&D has that's what they thought. They thought this is a solution to sustainability.
This is SEC.
Apparently, that has been proven wrong. Me and Danny, obviously, we've been there. We know what we're talking about because we invested. Now the question is, Red Light, Alex, and the rest of the team are trying to figure out innovative ways to, apparently the taxes is not the ultimate solution. It did the job for 2-3 weeks, but then the human manipulation of how to take advantage of this is the problem with every single project. Humans apparently find loopholes to take advantage.
All right.
Now,
Okay.
what I want you to consider, something about Sphere that is actually innovative. For me, I I like to reflect what others are doing to promote or to increase or leverage your project. So in Sphere, what they're doing is, instead of launching on Avalanche, which actually is quite smart, they launch on Polygon. And in Polygon, why? Because instead of everyone is popping projects on Avalanche, they went to Polygon. They're the ecosystem. There's people that on the Polygon system, and it's quite an untapped market. So that's quite smart because, hey, I'm going to new people that are very new to DeFi. I'm going to introduce DeFi to them while everyone is jumping on AVAX. Me, Danny, and the rest of everyone on AVAX, we're jumping from one project to another, including this one. So we're jumping, we get the whitelist and move on. While this guy is like, you know what? Let them do their own thing. I go get something like Polygon people. That's the one smart thing he did. Now, he's sucking liquidity from Titano and the rest of the projects from Avalanche network and moving to him. That's the second smart move. The third smart move, which is he's getting funds from the Polygon Alliance, which they give him free liquidity for him launching his project on Polygon to actually compete with Avalanche, compete with Binance, compete with whatever. So he's getting all these three stuff. Absolutely genius. Now the fourth, which I hope that you can consider and find someone who can help you out with, he's creating a bridge throughout his website, not through a DEX or whatever, or swap, where Binance, we know that's the second biggest liquidity there after Ethereum, where people can actually get into Sphere just with 3 clicks. Instead of learning, the learning curve and how to do it and all that stuff, I'm going to get that liquidity coming from Binance coming into my Sphere for 3 clicks. You don't have to learn
You
Trader
don't
Joe. You
actually
don't
have
have
to
to
learn
learn.
DeFi or anything. You just do it straight from the DEX.
Yeah, it's throughout the website. His website, he's
Yeah.
gonna build something, whatever. But the thing is, after all, I know that self-sustainability is one thing, but we all know it's marketing is another thing, and getting fresh money from other protocols is going to be something interesting because now getting into Avalanche, it is a very saturated market. Like launching on new layer ones or layer twos, like Phantom, Polygon, whatever it is, and
Metis.
starting this, if you have someone like in that protocol where they offer you free money for you to launch, why not? It will help the treasury. So the point is, I'm not trying to I'm trying to help out as much as share the experience or works of others to help out with this project to be explore other ways of getting more liquidity, getting more funds. Because Polygon Alliance, for example, don't get me wrong, the Polygon itself is not the best. It's still cheap, right? But it's not as as good as AVAX, but it does what it does. But after all, if you get liquidity for free for just launching there, that will help the treasury. Um, Trying to figure out how to hire somebody who can you bridge somebody from Ethereum, Binance, AVAX, whatever it is, and put that there. It gives you a new exposure to different layer ones for investors to come in. I think that's something that's probably worth looking at. I think.
Okay, can you number the 4 points in small words so I can consider all of them? That's why I called you at the first long question, because when you make such a big question, I don't want to miss any of those points. Like while you were talking, I was thinking about answers, but then you keep on talking, and then I got a little lost.
Yeah, he take it question by question, but I think Crypto is actually making a lot of statements and also giving you some inputs that he noticed from one project that is doing extremely well in their design of bringing people to the protocol whilst being self-sustaining. and they solved a lot of problems that all these projects are having. And I think he's just trying to offer up that info to you, so your project can succeed even more if you did not know about those solutions.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to go on and remember all the ideas that came to my mind while you were stating all of that. And then if I miss something, please let me know. Right, Crypto? Okay,
Sounds
first,
good.
yeah, about
Uh,
R&D.
I'll summarize it to you so you can always remember it.
All right.
One thing is, if you can launch, I don't know if you're stuck to whatever the layer you're stuck to, but find a layer that is not saturated, where you can launch and grab new investors,
Yeah, I got that one
like
perfectly.
Polygon, Phantom, whatever. AVAX, I think it's very saturated. That's one thing.
Okay, let me answer
If
that
you
one
can find,
before you say the second one. That will be
huh?
easier. Can I answer that one before you say the second one? That will
Sure.
be easier. All right. So my first choice was Phantom, but as you can tell, I'm a very community uh, driven guy, and I made a poll between all the team, and they all choose AVAX, and I was the only one that say Phantom. And I mean, what I thought is, okay, if if we have 10 people here at that moment, and if 9 of them are telling me to go to Avalanche, and I'm the only guy that is going go to Phantom, I mean, I cannot be just 100% right, you know what I mean? So that's why I choose AVAX. But what I really wanted was Phantom because I really like that network. I don't really love Avalanche if you ask me. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But now we already take to Avalanche. We're launching in 2 weeks and like changing everything right now. It will be such a rush. Um, but maybe at some point we can bridge the project or we can create it. I mean, if anyone is gonna fork, we can fork the first in another in another network so that you can all know, guys, that is ourselves the ones that are making it, not someone else that make rock or something like that. That could be an option. That's one. And then the second one, I have to be very honest with you. I have this thing when I miss a launch that I wanted to be in, I really don't look anymore at the project because I get kind of really upset, and I really to be into R&D, and I didn't really, I couldn't make it, and I really did my homework on R&D. I know about the cell tax, the well tax because Exi and JR5 they brought it up and they explained it to me. But I wanted to ask you something about them since you guys know a lot about them. Uh, do they have infinite pr- uh, production of tokens?
Uh, uh, they don't. I don't think they do.
So they
But
have a max supply.
yeah, they do have that max supply. But um, there's something about that team
All right,
that they keep hiding, which is they keep hiding. They they have planned everything out, and they feed you every week or something. They know what they're doing. That's the least I can do.
okay.
They
That,
they
that, that,
they,
that
they
was one question.
they're not waiting for surprises.
That was one question. The max supply. Now the second question: are you guys getting bolts that are getting you tokens other than your playmates?
No, just blame it.
That's
But
one very different thing that we have. It looks like R&D, but we have bolts that make you passive income that comes from other token. So
yeah, I've seen that.
you actually don't need to keep on selling the passive income that you're getting from us. to be able to keep making money, which is massive, you can keep on creating
Listen,
passive income.
I know you're passionate about your project, and I love that. And learning from others is probably the best thing because that's how we can scale. Now, I know that you've been like, democratic and asking people. AVAX, you were right. Your 9 people were wrong. I'll tell you why. Like, if you look how many nodes, DAs, DeFi's, NFT projects are popping every day
Every
on the
day.
Avalanche
Yeah.
compared to the rest, you are just competing with the rest.
Yeah.
After the whitelist, trust me, you don't have any more traffic because everyone is jumping from one to another.
Yeah,
I'm not
you may be
saying
right.
I'm not saying I'm not trying here to tell you like change everything, but sometimes it might be a little bit like take it a little bit slower for the sake of the process of this project to last longer. I've seen it. Me and the rest, we are jumping from R&D to whatever to the rest. Because after whitelist, you just said it. After you said it yourself. After
Yeah.
whitelist, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's why I
So
said that you read the whole white paper, right?
yeah,
You saw how our generation zero is minded.
yeah,
So like the first price $80, but then you
yeah,
get 100 and then 110 and then 120 and then 130. So
yes,
there is still a chance that you're getting a better deal. So when I believe that the thing can get slow at some point is between 9 and 10,000. But below that, I mean, you're getting $120 NFT, which you could consider, uh, which this is how I consider our NFTs. You're getting 22,000 tokens for $120, which with a long vesting period.
yeah. But in the end, I'll be extremely frank with you. Just consider me as your friend, as consultant,
Yeah.
whatever you want. I'm here to like make this work because I'm early and I'd love to be as early as possible. And I have to be realistic with you because if I'm not, I'll be lying to you. I'll be just clapping. Hey, you're the best. You just made the best. Give me the white
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
I get it,
and
bro.
then, but, but Avalanche Network. First of all, I have a huge problem with the Avalanche Network. Once you're done with whitelist, you're not going to get any more traffic. You'll get 1, 2%, 3%. Especially now we're seeing a lot of Titano forks, and we're going to see a lot of Sphere forks maybe in 2, 3 weeks. And now a lot of protocols are investing in the Sphere Finance, an 8-day-old project. Invest the protocol itself, the Parrot, it's called the Parrot. They invested into Sphere, the whole protocol. Like instead of investing in Strong, they are investing in Sphere. They believe in that, and they. So the whole point is Avalanche is all about saturation. I don't like I like Avalanche as a network, but DeFi, NAS, DAS, they're all competing under like for the same pie. So the thing that I hope you can look it up and discuss it with the community. But if the thing about Sphere that what they did is Polygon Alliance is giving them, I'm not sure if it's 6 million or 60 million for launching their project in their platform so they can compete with Avalanche and the rest. So I'm not telling you go to Polygon, go to any network where the network itself will pay you for reviving their system because they want to compete with the rest of the system. It the protocol itself, your protocol, will benefit from this liquidity. You're going to get free $6 million that can help the treasury. I know the whole thing of going from Avalanche to somewhere else, but maybe look at it. You know what I mean? Because getting $6 million free for launching either in Polygon, Phantom,
And I'm sure
Monero, whatever it
I'm
is.
sure that's not free. I'm sure that for that you need to be like doxed, completely doxed. The complete team have to be doxed. I'm sure there have
No.
to be some rules.
Sphere's not doxed. Sphere's not doxed. None of them is doxed.
I'm gonna look into that, but let me answer you that one in one personal opinion. All right. So I run a company in IRL, and there is something that will always be better. There is never is gonna be perfect for everyone, and if you don't have a clarity of mind where you can lead the people and that they can be certain that you know what you're doing and that you believe in what you're doing, what you're gonna have is, okay, so this guy just have this AMA with when this guy just told him about this, he thought it was a great idea, so now he's telling all the community that he's going to Polygon, which I believe is a very good idea, and I'm a look into it. But now take it from the community look, and I know this because as I told you, I run a company, and before I run it, the way that they run it is they were going from one place to another, and then this new decision, and then this new direction, and it never grew up. But as long as we stick with something and we think it through, and people got a clear leadership on where they going, that's when things start to fit in. So there is something that I need to tell you, like, you're gonna get everywhere where you go, everywhere. There is always going to be something that you or anybody else is gonna say, you should have done it this way and it will have been better. But at the end, community want a team that can tell you this is where we're going, and we're going to stick with it unless we really think that there is something massively that needs to be changed. When you tell me that we're only getting whitelists, I mean, I really don't believe in that. I mean, I just saw Tavern launch. I just saw Hopper's launch. I mean, the pizza game launch. They sold. I mean, they were selling same price all over in 10 minutes. They were completely sold out, and not only whitelists, like the whole thing. So I don't really believe we're gonna get only whitelist people. I believe we're getting a lot of smart investors that are gonna be. I believe our Gen Zero mining won't take more than 1 hour to sell, and that's something that I believe. That is something I really believe. Why? Because I've been in different R2Es launches, and oh boy, I mean, they're not even close to what we have here. And I know that as soon as we get the word out for smart investors like you guys, like you just say that you guys are interested in this and you want to invest in this. And I know that you're gonna do it. And I know that smart people like Exi and like JR5, they're gonna do it as well. But there is a point when everyone needs to know that the team leader knows where he's going and that he knows where where is the goal, you know?
Well, you're doing a good job. And you're starting off on the right footstep. Um, Everything is good, but it's probably you've been in the crypto space. DeFi, all that stuff. Things can flip like for the smallest thing. And I'm here not to doubt your vision because I really like your passion, but I'm trying to help you out to, look around. Um, it's,
And
it is my
And so
help
so
out
so
here.
so far, the only point where I don't really agree a lot with you is the one of changing blockchains right now because we're so close to launch. But the other things, I mean, it's not that I agree that we need to change the engine, is that we actually have them. Like for example, when we talk about R&D, I mean, I just told you we have something that they don't. Like people can actually create passive income here without selling their tokens. And that's massive. Because if the only way that you can get profit out is selling the tokens, you need to sell the tokens, bro. I mean, there is no other way you can get money out. So there is only one way, sell the tokens. That's something that we cover. And
So how are you covering that exactly again? Can you go over that one more time? If you can create passive income within your protocol, how do you not have to sell to be able to make passive income?
all right. So again, we have
Because
three
it okay.
we have three vaults, right? One of them is
Yes.
USDC vault, another vault is AVAX vault, and then the other one is the HODL vault. So the more paper hands go and sell on the market, those vaults refill themselves. So if you're smart and you don't sell all the time, and you instead of that you stake your money, you stake your HODL into those vaults, you're gonna be getting AVAX out of what they sold. You're gonna be getting USDC out of what they sold. So you're not
Mm.
selling. You're getting another
You,
token, like a reflection.
Danny, you don't get the token, which is either deflation or inflation. You get actually USDC
There you
or
go.
AVAX.
There you go. So you're
Every
getting
time, every time someone
So,
sells.
imagine now you're in Sphere or R&D, and the price drops. Everyone's selling. You're selling your Sphere or R&D. No, you're getting AVAX or USDC as a return, which is
Mm.
stablecoin, which is a bit of a genius right there.
only
Yeah.
if you are staking your tokens in the vault.
Only if you're staking.
Yeah, it's not
Got
a
it.
reflection token. You have to be staking your tokens in the vault.
So it's actually you're putting
I
your
like
money in
it.
the bank, and if the bank, you should receive, you know, US dollar, whatever the currency you're in, the country you're in, you'll get it in the stable coin or AVAX. You'll not get it in that token. And you probably get plus the hull as well,
There you go.
right?
There you go. Like what smart people is gonna do, they're gonna get hodl out of the hodl ball, and they're gonna compound that, and then they're gonna put it into the AVAX ball. And I believe that AVAX is gonna do well in the long term, and at some point, it will cost a lot of money, and at that moment, our balls are gonna worth a lot of money, and more people are gonna be wanting to stake their tokens, their hodl into our vaults. So I believe we're still early on Avalanche price. I believe Avalanche price can be worth, I don't know, maybe $500 within 1, 2, 3 years. So that's also another good thing. Superman, I'm watching you all the time, bro. Don't think I'm not watching you. The conversation is good. Actually, I'm gonna put you on stage just so in case you have another comment while we're talking this. Just that we haven't finished this subject. I already put you on stage, yeah. So, but I'm watching you, buddy. Don't
Yeah, we
get,
have Superman.
yeah, don't get frustrated on me.
No, no, don't worry. As long as you're not made out of kryptonite.
Yeah. That was what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for working on the project. Honestly, you're doing pretty well, and thanks to Danny and Crypto News for being very informative with this. In terms of marketing, what do you have in mind in marketing just to bring as many investors to the project? Just
Well,
so you can stand out from all the other projects out there.
okay. I think the best marketing, and this is why we have this many whitelist spots. Like we have 1,000 whitelist spots, and they're not like because we want to sell out with whitelist because they can only get 2,000 NFTs. It's because we really believe that the people is the best marketing. That's why we're doing that. But still, for example, we're getting the 28th, we're getting a AMA with James Pelton, which will be live on his YouTube channel since the 29th, I believe. And that's gonna bring a lot of eyes. Also, we're gonna have an AMA next week at 7 p.m. East someday. I haven't decided day because they just wrote me. I mean, they just text me like 3 minutes before we started this AMA. So I need to see which day fits better because next week I'm gonna be also traveling for my IRL company. So I have to do that and see how I am on that AMA. Also, we're having another AMA with No Nation. And I'm mentioning these three things because James Pelton is gonna give us a lot of viewers. But then after he give us a lot of viewers, we're going to these two specific uh, communities that they have whales on there, you know? They have big whales on there, like big people, big players that invest big into projects. And I know that Sensei like the tokenomics. You've seen the post as that when he have mentioned us, and I know that when he likes the tokenomics, he goes big into the project. So I believe that we're gonna be doing well, but still, I mean, like I was just talking to Danny, I didn't know who he is, but after this, we were going to talk a bit more about marketing. But yes, I mean, we're actually doing marketing, and we're doing marketing through the people as well with the whitelist.
No, I can tell. Yeah, that's very great. The whitelist. I see that you have two channels in mind, the AMA and the whitelist. I was thinking, like, sorry, just I'm just throwing it out loud. I remember, maybe Crypto will correct me. There was one few months ago, back in November, December. They actually put a big billboard in Times Square. Maybe that's one there, and maybe as well Sphere a couple days ago. Uh, After they launched by a day or two, they had a banner on crypto.com.
There
I
you
believe
go.
that brought a lot of attention to them.
There you
Just
go.
having a banner there, I don't. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Because
That's what we
because you
want to do. Write that. What you said. That's what we want to do. Once we launch, and we sell Gen Zero,
yeah
10% of the funds are going straight to the marketing wallet, and it is. I don't know if it's actually mentioned because at some point, yeah, it is mentioned there. Launch Gen Zero and then large scale target marketing campaign. If Gen Zero completely sells out, commits to a 50K marketing campaign to raise awareness
yeah.
of the protocol. And that is before launching HODL token. So we're gonna have
Well,
a lot of eyes on us before launching the token.
I can do the best that I can. I can fly from a country to country, being Superman and bring some people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I just want to say I just want to say thanks to Crypto and Danny. And honestly, Holder, great project, and I'm looking forward. And I'm gonna try to attract as many people as I can.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Also put it in the daily paper. Daily news.
Well, I,
I lost Lois. I don't know where she is. She's cheating on me.
All right.
It's Batman.
Well, Holder, as a person and just hearing you speak, your demeanor and your character, it actually sounds like you truly do care about this project, and it sounds like this is your baby, and you really want it to succeed. I don't get any vibes of you actually, trying to get money and run or a rug pull. I don't have any of those feelings. It honestly feels like you're trying to fill some of these voids that would scare other people away. So thank you for being you. I look forward to seeing this project unravel and unfold. Um, I'm sure I'll have a lot more questions moving forward, but um, right now, I think I'm just going to invest in you as a person. And I like everything about the project as well, but I think just you is what's getting me excited about this project mainly.
Thank you for that. Let me tell you something about myself. Uh, I told you I have a company in IRL. Bro, there is something I didn't need and was all this mess in my life. Like literally, I used to wake up at 8 in the morning, go and walk my dog, and then come and have breakfast with my wife, and then just check my WhatsApp and see what was going on in the company, and then check on charts and see what these new projects were launching. You know, just chilling and investing in whatever I want. But the last 2 months, I haven't stand from my seat. I mean, I why I created this is because when I got into these projects, I just got so upset when they made bad decisions. And since I was in the other ones before them, and I saw that they repeat those, I was like, why in the world would you do the same thing again? I mean, didn't you look what happened before? And that's when I got to the point. I know I can do this, and I know I can find the flaws that are already happening in these kind of projects, and I need to do it. I need to prove it to myself, and that's where I'm at right now. Uh, but something, I'm not rich. I can tell you that I'm not rich, but I live very nice without me being to have to check in on Discord messages all the time to see what people are asking and everything. I mean, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm all in with this project. All in.
I'm glad to hear it, man. Especially if this is the place I put my money. I want it to be behind someone that's all in. So happy
Yeah,
to hear that.
yeah. Thank you for that. Okay. Anyone else, guys? Crypto. Do you have anything else to say? I think he lost his mic again. All right. Well,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I think he did. Something happened with his thing. I think he's
Yeah.
trying to talk again, but he cannot. Okay. Any of you guys that wanted to say anything? Well, there was a concern that I wanted to address because a lot of wireless members actually uh, are pissed because they don't want the wireless to be only 10 minutes. Uh, I'm sorry, but things are how they are. I actually get this message at some point that look, the network is gonna be so congested that we're not gonna be able to do it in 10 minutes. I mean, bro, Avalanche can handle more than 4,000 transactions a second, so I don't think that minting 2,000 NFTs in 10 minutes is gonna be an issue. So I'm sorry about that one, but I believe that one of the things that you need to have on a launch, it's fear of missing out, and that's why we have planned it that way. Only 10 minutes for wireless people, and then we're putting it into batches. So if you're the earlier you are, the earlier the cheaper you get generation zero. So I believe
So
that's something very important, Tommy.
you just mentioned something, and I've dealt with this on many other networks. So if you got all these people that are going to try to mint, congestion does happen, and like a lot of projects, it tends to freeze up and your orders don't go through. What happens if that was to occur on launch, and how would you recompensate the people that were actually trying to purchase and was there early at that 10-minute mark but was unable to get their orders to go through?
I mean, that would be really hard. I mean, I've been in launches like I was early in the hoppers. I mean early like I wanted to mint like when there was like 5,000 NFTs out, and I couldn't. And you know what? I deal with it, and shit happen, you know. But if that happens, there is one thing that you need to be happy about, and is that the project is gonna be successful, and you still have a chance to mine maybe a bit expensive, but you're gonna have a chance. There is nothing that we really can do to compensate people that couldn't mine, because that will make a huge mess. And I really haven't seen any project that have tell, all right, if by any reason your transaction didn't go through, send us proof, and then we're gonna do something for
Sphere,
you.
Sphere did that. That's why Sphere is doing so great and everyone loves them. During their pre-launch, many people could not mint due to the traffic, and it would just freeze on them. So some people got their orders, other people's did not. So what they did is they created a second day only for the people that were unable to mint, and they were or unable to put in money for the pre-sale, and they had their opportunity to come in and be able to purchase. Everyone who invested, no matter what time they invested in, got the same amount
Okay,
as
well,
well
that
for
that
that pre-sale.
well, that's one thing that I really believe that they did really well.
Yeah.
Actually, what we have a 48 hours window where you can get generation zero for yourself. Like in case that we don't sell off, I mean sell out on the first 20 minutes. But other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, we don't have that right now on the plans. Like
Okay.
so I mean, I hope that
So
doesn't
it
happen to
is
a
what
lot of
it
people.
is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In,
Okay,
in, in that world,
okay.
we are like most projects. Like you need to. I mean, what I do when I try to go into projects that I believe they're gonna be hype up. I do a lot of gas fee. I increment it, and it usually goes through. Like with Elixir,
Yeah.
I did it, and I did it with two wallets, by the way, and both of them went through. And I did my quadrants, and then I sold, and
What,
I wasn't in that weird
you
kind of
got out
mode.
of it on time?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got out of it on
yeah,
time.
I made
Yeah.
like a
Elixir didn't
4x.
do pretty. Oh, okay, good for you. Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, and take that for example, right? That I think that's what everyone is coming in for the AMAs for is, they're going to put their money in, and they're worried like, is this going to be an elixir? Are we going to get rugged on, or is this somewhere that we can feel safe that we can put our money in, either AKA for the long haul or even for a short period of time, whether that be a month or a couple weeks, depending on the investor. And I think that's what most people are looking for. And I think a lot of people do want to hold, especially if they find a good project. The problem is it's tough to find the gems, I guess you could say, in the rough, the diamonds in the rough.
There is one thing I believe why it's so important that we lock the liquidity for a long time,
Yeah.
because I mean, they were a good team. They didn't really scam people. I actually got some dollars after they did the airdrop afterwards. And I mean, they didn't rob, but they didn't ask anyone if they should get liquidity out of the market, But they
Yeah.
could, because it wasn't locked. So I believe that, I mean, it doesn't matter how well you know the team. If liquidity isn't locked, anything can happen. That,
Yeah. Have you experienced or been in a project where liquidity was locked, and even though it was locked, it was still able to rug, or you got screwed in some way? Have you experienced that yet?
yeah,
Has anyone experienced that?
yeah.
Yes. So how can a project lock liquidity and then still be able to rug?
because it was a honeypot. They lock it and then they block the trading function, and then
Gotcha.
they wait 6 months and they got liquidity out of it. I mean, they were patient to wait for the liquidity to be unlocked.
So essentially, if they do lock liquidity, the only thing that you have to look into a project is it a honeypot or not, and that's the
Yeah,
only way that you can truly get rugged. But if liquidity is locked and it's not a honeypot, then you really have nothing to worry about.
yeah, and believe me, I'm not gonna wait 20 years to get the liquidity.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so
Okay, that's great.
yeah. No one
Yeah,
ever asked
and
me that question, but I thought
yeah,
that there wasn't a possibility to get rocked when liquidity was
yeah,
locked. But actually,
yeah,
it happened twice, because it
yeah,
happened with one project that I got out on Pink Sale, and then
yeah.
with Atom Protocol, they were actually locked, but they stopped trading function for everyone else but themselves.
Wow.
You remember Atom Protocol?
Yeah,
So that was locked, but they have a lot of first. They have a lot of tokens behind that belong to them, that they say that was for treasury and whatever, which we're not doing. We're not keeping any token for ourselves, and they stop trading for everyone else, and they just dump all the tokens they have. So they didn't
see, and
actually take liquidity out of the market. They just dump on everyone.
that's crazy.
Yeah, those are the two ways someone can rock. If they have too many tokens, even if liquidity is locked, they can rock. Or if it's a honeypot. So two ways they can rock, even if liquidity is locked.
And your project has two of those bases covered already.
Yeah, we're not getting any tokens, and we're locked for 20 years, and we don't have the patience to wait 20 years to rock you guys.
Fantastic.
Well,
Anyone else got questions besides me?
all right, I believe no one else wants to talk. I mean, we've covered like
Yeah, we
in
did a
this,
lot.
yeah, in this AMA I've covered points that I've never covered in other AMAs, so that was amazing, because it was a flash AMA, so I didn't expect that to happen. So I mean, it was great, and thank you very much, Barry, for being here. I mean, and it was awesome the way that we met each other. So that was
Yeah,
great.
no, absolutely, and I'm sure we'll talk some more outside of this AMA.
Yeah, sure.
And I think what crypto was going on a lot, but I think what crypto's goal when he was speaking to you, I think he was merely just telling you check out Sphere's protocol and then see if there's anything that you can implement from their protocol because they're doing such a good job to make your project better. I think is essentially what he was trying to say. He really wants you to succeed. So he's trying to tell you to look at other people that are succeeding and then try to a way to implement it. I think is what he
Yeah.
was trying to say earlier.
Right
Yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah,
since like most people is doing forks, um,
yeah,
the job that I put into devs, they're so frustrated right now because like today I have the main dev. He told me, bro, like all the projects that I have worked on for the last year, this project, I mean, have been nuts, because one single project and you have like 20 contracts, and it's crazy. So right now
wow,
we're innovating a lot. If I just come to them, not just to the community, but now think of my team, and I tell them, hey, there you go. I have a new thing that we're gonna implement. You also burn your team, So that's something
yeah,
also important, because I want to have these guys for the long run, because I trust them, because I believe that we can do well with them, and I believe that this project, like there is this question that no one asked this time, but I'm gonna answer anyway. How many projects have you been on? Is this your first project? Yes, it is my first project. if you should be afraid if you ask that, and the main guy tell you, yeah, I've been like, I launched like 100 projects already, so I have a lot of experience. So, yeah, you have a lot of experience on failing, because so far, why haven't you stick to one single project? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you don't want that. I mean, you want that project, and you want that people to stick to that project and to make that project succeed.
Yeah, have a family with one vision,
There
one
you
goal
go.
to achieve, and
And
go after it.
that's what we want. We want to create a sense of family within this community, not just our
Yeah,
team, but the whole community, a family of holders.
yeah. Fantastic, man. I'm happy I stopped here. I know everyone in the room today gets a whitelist. How do we make sure we receive those?
Well, actually, what I say is that the ones that were here when we mentioned that, because we were here at the time that we say that we were going to start, those were going to get whitelist. Since I since I have the recording, I'm gonna send a screenshot on audience, and I mean on announce. And if you are on that screenshot, just create a ticket and then ask for your whitelist. It's not for everyone that is here. It's for the people that were at the time that they were supposed to be here. So let's gonna keep it the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There you go. The first 3 minutes of the AMA. I like when people is early at the time that they have to be. Superman, don't tell me you weren't early. He want to talk. What is it, bro? You have your mic off.
Your mic's muted.
Yeah.
I apologize. I wasn't here early. I came like 7 or 8 minutes late. I have a sick child. I was putting that kid to sleep. So my bad.
Oh man, but still, I mean, right now it's so easy to get whitelist, bro. I mean, right now you just need 2 invites and come and chat in the general.
I have been sending invites everywhere. It's just everybody keeps getting the projects,
Yeah,
and I've been sending it, and a lot of people are getting stuff like that, and I'm explaining that to them.
yeah.
Now I have more information. Let them know. I'd appreciate it if you actually can put me on one list. I really will.
If I can put you in what, pardon me?
I'd appreciate it if you can put me whitelist. I missed like the first 5 minutes of the chat of the AMA.
Yeah, I know, bro, that you will really appreciate that. But I mean, I know that you got your child. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, it's just something I say, and basically I say that on most of the AMAs, the people that was here at first, they got whitelisted, and that's something that I appreciate punctuality. And I'm not saying that you don't have a fair reason that why you weren't here before, but again, what I'm telling you, don't focus into the invitations. I mean, 2 invites are really easy to get, but what we really are looking for right now is community engagement. We need people to talk about the project in general, in the general chat, like read the white paper, get involved with this, so so you can talk and create that atmosphere. It's not hard to have a level, a rank 7, and still we have more than 800 whitelist spots. If I've been honest to you, I really don't think we're gonna be fulfilling our whitelist. And there is also so many ways that you can make whitelist right now. Like there is trivia game, and then like every day you get one whitelist by trivia game. Like there is another way, making a a tweet. There is 2 winners every day. Though the last 24 hours, no one participate. And there is 2 winners every day for whitelist for that one. No one participates. So 2 whitelists just got lost. if every day also we're watching who is reacting to every announcement, and if we see someone that reacted to all of them, then we try to do it random with the people, with all the people that reacted to all of our announcements, and then we give another whitelist that way. There is also the 24 hours meme whitelist, and the the trivia one. Going back to that one, if you're not the 24-hour winner, the top 20, once we are closer to launch, let's say the 3rd of April, are going to get whitelist. The top 20. So basically, when someone gains the 24 hours trivia contest, they stop playing it. So if you just play, I don't know, 10 minutes a day, you're going to be top 20. I assure you that. If you get in the trivia channel, it is automatic. So it goes and make one trivia every 2 hours. If you go there right now, you can see, if you scroll up, a lot of questions, nobody was answered. So that's what we're looking. We're looking for people to be engaged in our project, and that's what we need right now.
I'll engage. I'll engage. I can be level 7 by 6 a.m. Don't worry about that.
So you're
I'm
already you're already whitelisted. There you go.
no, it's just the invites. It's just the invites. That's the issue. But you'll see me. You'll see my name everywhere. You'll see me in different channels. You'll see me. I'm very active.
Yeah. Look, if I see that at the end of the day, I give you whitelist. I mean, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. If anyone have 100 messages that are not spamming, like when I cannot share screen because of the kind of thing that we are having right now, but if you go to search in the server and you put from the 2 dots, how you pronounce the 2 dots that goes how
Semicolon?
pardon me?
Is semicolon?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, in Spanish is dos puntos. So if you put that, and then you put from, and then you put the 2 dots, and then you put your name, and then you press enter, you're gonna find how many messages you have in the chat. If you show me that, and you show me that you have more than 1,000 messages, even if you don't have those 2 invites, and I know that you weren't spamming all over, I know you're being part of the community. And we want that. I mean, we just don't want people that is here just to get a fast whitelist and then abandon the server until launch day. We don't want that.
And I'm usually in for the long run. See, I'm in Sphere right now,
So
and I'm gonna be there as long as I can. You know what I mean?
So don't worry, bro. You're
Uh,
getting whitelisted. I mean, you can be sure about that one. I just mentioned like
no.
different times ways that you can get whitelisted.
No. Thank you again. Thank you so much, shareholder, and thank you so much, Danny, for asking all these questions. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna announce that new way to get whitelist right away. I'm gonna announce that right away. I just make that up. I'm gonna announce it right away. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone, guys, for being here. And I'm gonna take the screenshot for the first 3 minutes. I'm gonna, I don't even need to take the screenshot because I'm gonna upload this AMA into YouTube. Then you guys can go and look at it. And if you were here the first 3 minutes, you just send the screenshot where your name was at, and we're gonna give you the whitelist for the first 3 minutes. Okay, well, thank you guys for being here. It was actually a 2 hours AMA. A flash 2 hours AMA. That was crazy. So thank you again, Danny. I mean, it was great having you, bro. It was great meeting you in this way. So I hope we can keep on knowing each other.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to answer my questions, and thank you for being candid and open, and I look forward to your project releasing. I appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you very much. And have a very good night or morning or whatever it is where you're at. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care.